Hello, brothers and sisters. Hotep, welcome to a episode of being brought to you at History House number 2. Now, I know that this is not the way that I was originally wanting to have this art show presented to you, but what this is about is the 2020 Minimalist Maximist art show. And I was trying to do this art show for you um, via a pre-recorded section, but it didn't happen. So now we're going to just do it live. So what the 2020 Minimalist Maximus Art Show is about, it's a 40 pictures that I did to bring out the importance of the year 2020 in art. And this is the book where you can get a copy if you like. And it's going to be a virtual art that we're going to have online. And these are the pictures. And at the end of this broadcast, I'll put down in the description below where you can get this book from Amazon. And I'll also talk about some of the things that I'm using to record this particular um, broadcast with so that you'll be able to get some of the equipment. I know the studio's a mess. The place looks crazy, but I wanted this to air on December 20th, 2020 at 2020, and I'm a little bit behind. But that's okay because this whole year has been a little bit crazy. Um, but we're here. And so I'm going to just show you some of the artwork that we're going to be hanging virtually for this show, Minimalist Maximus 2020. So here's one of the pictures. So like what I did, I took and I made, as I said, 40 pictures. 20 of them are 5 by 7, and 20 of them are 8 by 12, and excuse me, 8.5 by 11. And they have different settings and themes. And as you see in this one here, you see that there's a penny on the left side of your screen held by some gloves, which represent money that is not going to be probably used again. I think this is going to be the last year of the penny. And then on top of that, you'll see a cowrie shell, and that cowrie shell represents money that was used in Africa, and that was actually before the coinage. Then you see a little clip, a little clothespin there, which represents how we've been closed in or pinned in. And then we see a screw that is pointed up, which means that this place has been screwed up. This world has been kind of screwed up as we know it. And you see two nuts to say this place is going nuts. Now, on each of the pieces, you'll see a P that's black, and that means that's the pandemic and the Black Plague. And then you see the feather, which represents the swine flu, the bird flu. And then we have that's toxic. So, in the state of California, just about everything is toxic. So this is one of the pictures. And like I said, we will be going through some of these pictures one at a time. Now, as I said, 20 of them are 8 by 10. And this is one of the ones with 8 by 10 that's on glass. As you can see that it has a mask, it has the glove, a penny, and other items, pen, and the screw up, two nuts show the world's nuts, cowrie shell, and the mask, and stop this crazy year and go on year. This is one of the ones I call wash hands before entering. You see in the middle of it, there's a picture of the Alvin Ailey dancers, and they're doing a dance. Their hands are out, and they are doing a dance from that famous poem by Maya Angelou called "Still I Rise." This one is I call "Do Not Enter." You see the little girl outside of the store. If you look closely, she's dropped her ice cream cone, and there's a nice little house on the side. And we see some of the other symbolisms that we're talking about on this show. This particular piece here we call love, and this piece here we call caution, and we know that we have to be cautious. And you can see Brother King and Brother Malcolm X shaking hands in a meeting that did or did not happen in the way that we did. You see the mask on the side, and you can see the little gear in the heart that represents our steam chic movement. This is a piece that we call peace. Caution, watch your step. Now, we're going to have this show up. Now, this one here, we call no loitering. And you can see there's two pictures of young ladies in a park. And we used to be able to go to parks and have a good time, but now we're not even going to be able to go to parks right now because of the pandemic. So we can't go there to loiter. And it's not loitering anyway. Basically, what we're going to the parks to do was to enjoy ourselves and to have fellowship. Here's what we call Confined Space, number 2. This one we call Employees Only. Now you see there's the Buffalo Soldiers on one side and then the 59s on the other side. Now let me explain a little bit about what I mean by Minimalist Maximus. This part here is what we call Maximus. I think I may have made up that word, but there's a lot going on. And down here is how you see minimalist action. But this minimalist action that we got going on is not going to really be um, lines or angles or an outline of shapes of face and stuff that you usually see on minimalist paintings. This is actually, my version of a minimalist Maxamist painting. Now here we see a picture. We call this one no soliciting. You see in the picture in the background, you see some people getting baptized with a big Maximist area and a big minimalist area. This piece here we call joy. And we see some children eating watermelon up in the corner. And it says, notice, no food or drink in this area. And this one, ironically enough, is called COVID-19. Fight COVID-19. Caution. And then we see a whole bunch of little candy down there, which, can be taken any way you like. This piece we call Zoom. And you know how a lot of people are on Zoom today, and if you see in the corner it says cell phones prohibited. Well, you know, a lot of people are conversating during Zoom on cell phones and on video conferencing and on YouTube, like we're doing right now. And I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for being with me on this virtual gallery. See, this one here, we see some sisters, the Senegalese sisters, sit at the top, and it says, "This is a drug-free workplace." And, you know, we want to stay away from drugs. I know a lot of people at this point might decide that it's time to, have some drugs, get away from reality. But we don't have to do that. We really need to work together and stay together. Now, here's one we can see. They've got two little clowns, and it says, "Notice safety shoes required in this area." And we call this picture "Glow in the Dark." And you see at the bottom of it, we have a star, and in the star there are gems. So here we see the picture, and this one here is got Martin Luther King at the top, and it's authorized personnel only. So he's at the top of the mountain, looking down. You see under the screw, you see the mask that we're required to wear before we go into the store. And some of these things are movable, like this little clip. You see our little pen. There we go. It's actually. So when I did this art show, I did it with the handicap of 20 pictures with primary colors. I'm using 20 primary colors and 20 secondary colors. This one I call cool. So we need to stay cool during this time. This picture here we call shipping and receiving. And if you see there's Marcus Garvey there, and if you know the story of Marcus Garvey, he was deported because of this Black Star shipping line, and he was receiving money through the mail. So he's always been a star of mine, and hopefully yours, but you can do more research on that. So like I said, some of these pictures have messages that are easy to see, and some of them have pictures that are hard to see. We call me, and the reason why we call this me, we, is because a lot of times me, but we need to think about each other, we, because we are in this together. And we need to realize that we are a family. So, you know, here at the History House and the Black Facts and Wax Museum, we've never asked for donations. I don't ask for Patreon. I don't ask for you to give us money. But what I do ask for is for you to pass it on, pass the knowledge on, pass things on, do something for the next guy and love them. Because there's a lot of museums out here and people out here just trying to do good things, but some of them I consider are just trying to get money. And that's not what we're really trying to do, especially this time when we all need each other. Because there is a time for money. We all know we need it. And there's a time for just doing good. And right now, I think this is just a time for doing good. But if you'd like to help us out, you might go to Amazon and pick up the book, Minimalist Maxamist 2020 Art Show. But you don't have to. You can pick up the book, Mixtape. Now, this is a book from of art I did back in 2019. Being a collector of tape, or being a collector of everything, I made a bunch of pictures using tape, duct tape that I've collected over the years. But this is not what this show is about. This show is about 2020. Now, here's some of the 5x7 pieces. Here we got Mahalia Jackson singing, and the name of this one is No Soliciting. And some of them are on stretch canvases, and some of them are on canvas boards. So here we got a picture I call Authorized Personnel Only. And you see some mother doing the sister's hair, and little girl studying. There's also on the book cover we have of Mama teaching me how to write pretty like you. So it's a book on teaching children or whoever how to write. This one we call Confined Space. So we see the mother and the doctor has a little girl that they're trying to heal. And the original picture of this was probably done in the 1800s, so it was way before the pandemic that we're experiencing now. Here are the brothers Carlos at the 1969 Olympics in Mexico when they raised their hand up. And I call this high five, high voltage. Now here's one that's got a little slave girl. Sorry about that, sisters and brothers. I'm trying to get the light to where it's not really affecting the light so much. And this is called Caution, Watch Your Step. You see the cowrie shell here has got a little gold on it because we were using the gold standard before they came off with the money standard or the coinage standard. This one is called Please Ring Bell for Service. So we see Joe Louis there, and you know how they say come out fight when you hear the bell? Well, there you go. Please ring bell for service. This is Please Ring Bell for Service number 2. And that's Jack Johnson. Now here's one that is has some slaves, and it says, "Notice all visitors must register at the office." And this is a picture that we used in the book 400 Years of Slavery in America. And here's one we call Caution, Watch Your Step. It's a black ballerina. This one we call Private Property. And we can see the little house down there. And we can see some of the other little symbols that we've talked about already. This is what we call Caution, Eye Protection Recommended. And we see Brother Malcolm X thinking and Brother Martin Luther King thinking. And we also see little black children thinking. This piece here I call emergency exit only. And we can see a little brother ballerina doing his thing, and a sister ballerina in the background. Now this is a cute one. We call this is a drug-free workplace. And you see there's a father talking to his son, explaining life to him, and also like the rites of passage. And this is the picture that we used on the cover of the book, Daddy, I Can Write Cursive. You know, cursive is not being taught in our schools today so much, and so a lot of the kids are not able to read slave documents, old papers that's handwritten that was done in cursive. And that book will teach your children, or you, or anyone, how to write and read cursive. This one here we have, it's called Authorized Personnel Only. And you see there's a bunch of black singers down there. They're famous black women. And these are, it's also, actually the name of this picture is called Joy. And the sign says Authorized Personnel Only. But the name of this picture is Joy. Now this one here is Deadwood Dick. And we call this one Safety Glasses Required #2. Because, you know, he went to South Dakota, and the way he became Deadwood Dick from his real name was Nat Love, was that he won all the rodeo events in Deadwood, South Dakota to become Deadwood Dick. So this we call all activities moderated by video camera. And we see a little sister laying in the bed being watched by the little dog. Here's one we have a brother helping a sister, little girl helping a young sister getting a drink of water. We call that flammable. This one we call no dumping. And it's two little black boys um, being entertained by a black clown. Maybe it's a Universal Soul Circus, I don't know. This is a piece we call Zambezi Sunset. And for the final piece, this is called No Smoking Within 50 Feet. And we see some brothers playing cards, and one brother is passing the card through his toe to another brother, and the brother in the back has got his razor out. So, thank you very much for coming and doing this show. I know my studio looks a mess, but the original video that we were doing for this didn't get rendered in time. But I wanted to have this video go up for 2020 at 2020 on December 20th. And there were some other things I wanted to talk to you about the show that was really nicely spoken about in the original video, because it didn't happen. It's all right. And I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, that the 1916 to 2020 Colored, Negro, Black, African American History Calendar. This was on YouTube's Minority Calendar bestseller list in the top 10 most of the year. And I appreciate that. So all of you brothers and sisters who got that particular one, I thank you. We have the one for this year, the 1619 2021 is just in in limited edition, and we're not going to be able to get it out there to everyone, and it's not going to be available online on a place where you can buy it. So that's about the size of it, brothers and sisters. I want to say Hotep, thank you very much for joining us. We love you, and may the rest of your life be the best of your life. Hotep.